Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll be doing peer programming for our tutorial one, um, which is under MernStack, which is the bookstore. And Fukudo and I will be driving and navigating. So over here, for our bookstore, we've got our back end and our front end. So under our back end, we've got our models folder, our node modules folder, our roots folder, our config.js, index.js, package.json, and the package.json. So I will start by explaining what we have inside of our models folder. When we enter our models folder, we've got our book model.js, which basically gives us the model of how our book is going to be presented. So here we've imported Mongoose from Mongoose, and we've got a const book schema equals to mongoose.schema, and we've got the title, which has got a type string and a required to true, and the author, which is a type string and is required to true as well, and the publish year, and the type number and the required equals to true, and also has a timestamp which has been set to true. And then we export const books equals to mongoose.module book schema. So basically, this is kind of like the setup of how our card is going to look like. And then we move over to our roots.js. Inside our roots folder, we've got books and roots.js. And over here, we've imported Express from Express, and we've also imported books from models, books model.js. And we've got our const router equals to express.router. And this is the router to save a new book. And over here, if we request a body and a title, and we also request the body and the author, and we also request from the publish year body, then it should return with a response with a status of 400. Um, with a message that says send all required fields, title, author, and publisher. And then we move over to our const new book method, where we have got our title, our author, and our publish year. And then we've got our const book method, which is await books.create. So this allows us to create a new book. And then this is a return statement with the response of status 2201, and also a catch error method that gives us the status of 500 if an error occurs. And then over here, we've got our root for get all books from database. And so our router.get asynchronous function request response. So we've got the try method, and then which awaits books dot find from the const books, and then it returns a response of status 200 in JSON format, and also the count books dot length and the dot to books, and also catches errors with the status of 500 and sends us in an error message. And then we've got a root for get one book from database by ID. So this basically allows us to get a book from the database just by the ID of the book. So the ID of the book could be a title, or this a word that is found in the title of the book. And that is the asynchronous function that allows us to do that. And then we've got a root for update a book. So after we have at least filled in if we try to edit a book, and then we fill in everything that we edited, then this is the function that basically allows us to edit the book, and also send all required fields to send our book back to our homepage, and it will be presented successfully after we have updated the book. And then this is a function, a synchronous function that allows us to delete a book if we are no longer interested in the book. And yeah, this is basically what this whole file is responsible for. So now we'll move over to config.js, where we have configured our MongoDB URL, and also our port, which is running, which is 5,555. And then we've got our index.js, where we've got all our our imports over here. And then we've also got our app express, and also have our app.useexpress.json and our app use course, which we have also downloaded, I think, inside here. Yes, on line 15 as a dependency. And then we have our get function, which gets requests and responses um, when we run our request, and it returns a response with a status of 235, and we receive a message that says welcome to MernStack tutorial. And then we've got our mongoose.connect, which connects us to our MongoDB URL, and then also a .then method with the console.log app connected to database, and also that our app is listening on a port, and the port will be specified in our terminal as we'll show. And then we've got our package log.json and our package.json, which has got our dependencies and how exactly we want to start our application. So from here, I'll hand over to Fukudo, who'll explain to us the front end of our project.
Okay, let me go to the front end. So the front end, um, under the source main folder, we have a subfolder called components, and then under it we have the home. Um, we have home subfolder which has all these files. So the first file that we have is bookmodel.jss, and inside this file we have the import statements, where we are importing the AI outline close from the React icons, and then we imported the PI book open text light, and then the PI user circle from the React icons, and then we have the cons model where we have the book, and then all the on close, and then after that we have the class name, which will have which is structured in this and these properties, and then we have the on click button event, which is to stop propagation, and then basically this book model is how our book should look like when we view them on our browser. And then the books card, so the books card, our books will come out as in a form of a card in our browser. So we import the link from React Router DOM, and then we import the API book open, and then after that we have the cons book card, which is the function that needs to make our books look like in a card format, and then we have the books here, and then we return. So this is the structure, like the colors and the um, yeah, and then we map the book, and then it must be a single card when we see it, and then we have the book single card file, which and this one is when we are viewing only one book. So is similar to this books card, but this one should be similar. And then we have the books table, where all our books will be inside a table, and this is the structure of our table. Class name will have the body, which we can see it as the border and the slate of how our table should look like, and then we must be able to add another book. That's why we have +1, and then we have the back button. So the back button is when we want to go back from the book that we clicked, and this is what we have. So this is the part that we have for the back button to go back, and then we have this sniper. So sniper, we just import React from React, and then we have the sniper function, and then we move on. Now we move on, we go to pages, and then on pages we're gonna have a create book file, where we'll have the course create books function, and then we'll have the title, use date, and then we'll have the author, and then we'll also see the publisher, and then this is the loading function after we have inserted all our things, and then this function is for us to navigate our book, whether we want to go to edit, delete. So it's for us to navigate. And then we have the const handle save book, where we are saving our book. And then our book structure will look like this. We'll have the title, the author, and the publisher. And then if it's true, if what we are saving is correct, it should save, and then we'll see our book through this path, which is our link. So this is the link that we'll be using for us to access our book. And then after, if so, this is when when our information is true. And then if it's not true, if it's true, or if the information that if we created our book successfully, we need to see this, or else we'll catch the error, and then it will show us there's an error with creating our book. And then there we have the class name of the book under the return for us to create another book if you want, and the name. And yeah, so and then we have the delete function. So there we have the delete function, delete book, where we are deleting the book that we don't want anymore. And then after deleting successfully from our path here, it will show us that the book is deleted successfully, or else it will catch the error. If we couldn't delete, it will show us there was an error with deleting the book. So before we can confirm our delete, it will ask us if we really want to delete our book. Um, it will ask us if we're sure, and then if we are sure, then we have the on click again to confirm our delete. And then we have our edit function, where we are editing our book. So we can edit, we are able to title, our author, our publisher, our loading, and then we can navigate by also editing our ID. And then if we couldn't edit, it will show us that we couldn't edit, we must check our console. Or else, if the edit successfully done, it will show us book successfully edited. And then we have the home, which will save as our home page, where after we click on the book and also load, and then it shows us the book. If you want to go back, we will have the home button, where we'll go to our original table, or the card format that we have already created. And then we have the show book function, where this is just um, a structure of how we're supposed to see our book. So see our book through, well, we have the function for the book, and then in the load and the ID. So we'll see our book um, by the ID, and then yeah. So and then we move on to our app.js. This is our app, our whole app file, where we find everything here. We have imported the React, imported the root, and then we import the home page, import the create, the delete, the edit, the show book. And then on our function of const app, we have all these paths for us to be able to click them and do whatever that we want to do inside our app. So this is what we have inside our app, and this is our main app that we'll be seeing, and we should be able to do all these things. And then our index.js doesn't have much. We imported the React, we import the React DOM, and then we import the index from CSS, where we're supposed to see our design, and then we import the app, and then we import the browser, and then we render our browser router, because we'll be seeing our things from the browser. And then on our main.js, there's not much. Also, we just have a function of React DOM, and then a document get element by ID. So and then we have the packages that we have, we install them through our command. So I think we will go and showcase that we can use our book. So I don't know if Sharon want to add a book or what. So let's say we want,
Yeah, let's try out a book.
okay, the title.
And then we can say lions,
Lions. And then the author,
and then the author we can say Code College.
quotes, college. The lions, ne? And it's Malini living
Mm.
space, and then the year, let's say 2025. Okay. And then let's save it. Let's see. Book created successfully. There we have our book. So let's say we want to edit to show our functionality of the app. Let's edit and make it.
Hmm.
Let's make it the lions.
The lions.
Okay. Save. And our other functionality, let's say we want to delete, so we can delete this updated book. Let's delete, and then it's asking us if we show we want to delete this book, and then we confirm we want to delete. Then let's see our book in a card format, so we can choose if we want to have it on our table format or our card format, but I think it looks more nicer on card format. The functionality will still be the same. There we have the information, we have get show, get element by ID, we have the title, the author, the publisher, when it was created, and I think it's creating through real time, and then last updated. And then if you want, we can go back to our home page, and that was it for this bookstore for the MernStack. I don't know if Sharon want to add something.
No, we didn't leave out anything. Thank you so much, guys.